Hey Royals, I'm Kai, hope you're doing well, and today we got our egg clutch number 5 on the ground, so stick around, you're watching Lucas Lin and Royals. Alright Royals, so we got our egg clutch number 5 on the ground, and this one is jam-packed with a bunch of codoms. Now, I did say that in all of my videos this season, I want to show off both the male and the female, and that seems to be backfiring already because I'm not always going to have the male. He might be sold, he might go to somebody else. So in this case, I'm gonna have to look back to see if I have a picture or some old footage, and if I do, I'll make sure to throw that on the screen. He is a Enchi Orange Dream Yellow Belly Pinstripe. Lucky for us, he doesn't carry any recessive genes, so we don't have to worry about any hets that he may produce because he doesn't have any recessives. So he just has those 4 codoms. Like I said, Enchi Orange Dream Yellow Belly Pinstripe works really well together, produces a really vibrant orange snake, and I would love to be able to clean that up a little bit more with the female that I paired him to, and I'm going to show her off to you when I get her off those eggs. So let's get to it.
Wow, look at this. What a beautiful sight. So I know she's done, and I know she just laid. I checked on her around 9 p.m. and she had 4 eggs, working on the 5th, and it is now around midnight. So she's done. The one that's closest to her head still looks a little bit pink, and I think that's because it was the most recent one that was laid. This is the Vanilla Spinner Blast, so vanilla, pastel, spider, and pinstripe, and visual hypo. So everything is going to be a hypo. Everything in this clutch is going to be het for hypo. I've already removed the water bowl because I took some pictures for Instagram. You might want to follow me on Instagram and Facebook to get the latest. So right now what I want to do is pull the tub completely out so I have some more space, and then we'll get her off those eggs, get those eggs into the incubator. So here she is, and don't worry about the camera angle. If it looks a little funky, I will adjust it, but let me just get my bearings because I don't want to get bit. She might be a little bit skittish. She's a little bit more skittish than some of my other girls, but you know, this is just a mom that is trying to protect her eggs, and the more protective, the better I think the mom is. But we are going to take the eggs away. I'm going to get her into a tub of water, and I'll be right back. So while the mom is sitting in a tub of warm water, washing off that egg scent, and washing that off would help her get back onto food much sooner. So while she's taking that bath, I have here a incubator box that I prepared already. So if you're not familiar how I do it, I have perlite at the bottom that's pretty much soaked with water, and then I have a light diffuser or egg crate sitting on top so that the eggs are not in direct contact with the perlite or the water. So I'm going to set this aside. What I'd like to do now, well, I would like to count the eggs to see what I got. So I got 3, 4, 4, 9. So we got 9 eggs. That's awesome. So before we put the eggs into the egg box, and this is something that I like to do, it's not necessary, is I like to separate the eggs. And it's going to be pretty simple because, like I said, she just laid these eggs and they haven't had a chance to adhere to each other. So this is Mother Nature way of preventing the eggs from rolling, which is to make them stick to each other. But since we are going to artificially incubate the eggs, we can pull them apart. We just have to make sure that we know what is right side up, and we're going to do that once these eggs are apart. There's a process called candling, which is basically shining a light inside, looking for the embryo, and we want to make sure we rotate the embryo to be on the top. So now that they're all separated, I'm going to go ahead and turn out the lights and candle these guys. So if you see me do this before, I basically look inside and I'm looking for the embryo. It's not showing up on the camera, but I can see it right there at the tip of my thumb So I'm going to use a pen and make a little mark. You can see that right there. So that indicates the right side up. I'm going to do that on all of these eggs. And if we can find the embryo, that's great. If we can't find the embryo, like this one, I'm having a little hard time finding the embryo, I'm just going to look for the center of all of these veins, these red veins. I'm just going to mark that because I think that's where the embryo is. This one's easy, it's right there. This one is actually right there. So now I got all these marked up. We can place them into the egg box. And the reason I separate them, two reasons actually. One is because these egg boxes are kind of low profile. I don't want the eggs to touch the sides or the lid of the egg box. And the other reason is because if I get a moldy egg, I can just pull it apart and not interfere with the other eggs that are in development. So I like to put these in a zipper-like pattern that kind of interlocks itself, and you'll see in just a second. What I'm poking down are just cut up pieces of straws. So you can see I'm only using one finger and it's holding all 6 of these eggs. And then as I add more eggs in here, they're going to interlock again. And we're just going to keep doing that until all the eggs are in the egg box. Want to make sure that they're not touching the side walls. So one tip I want to give you guys when putting eggs in the egg box, let me change it this way. So you see right now, this is the kind of orientation I like, which is a zipper-like pattern. But keep in mind that as these eggs develop, they actually generate their own heat. And so I think there's been times when I've had the eggs packed in here like this, when I have 9, 10, 11 eggs, and they're packed in. The ones in the middle, I think once or twice had some issues, like hard bellies or kinks or something like that. And that might be due to the temperature. And the ones in the center, like I said, may be getting too hot, like because they do generate heat. So even though this is the typical zipper-like pattern I like, I am going to change it up a little bit. What I want to do is create some space in the middle. So I think I'm happy with this. I got a cluster of 4 and they're kind of spaced out. You got some space in between, and then you got a cluster of 5 with some space in between these as well. I'm just going to remove some of these cocoa fibers. This one I forgot to clean off. You can see there's a little bit of dirt. So I'm just going to get a wet paper towel and wipe that one off real quick. All right, so we are going to put these into the incubator. Incubator is set at 90 degrees. My thermometer says 90 degrees, but I know it's 1 degree off. So essentially it's 89 degrees. So in about 55 to 60 days, these eggs should pip, and I'll bring you a egg cutting video. That's a pretty sweet clutch of eggs, and all the babies should be 100% het for Hypo. But to be honest, Hypo is not what I'm going for. I really just want to combine the fire with the orange dream. You see, when I started out this hobby, I had a fire orange dream female that I traded and immediately regretted that trade. The reason I traded her was because I had a ton of orange dream in my collection and she had the least amount of genes, but I still regretted it because she's a beautiful animal. So this will be my first time combining fire and orange dream again, and of course I have a bunch of other codoms in the mix, so that's going to be pretty awesome. So that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and you want to be informed of future uploads, make sure you're subscribed and ring that notification bell down below. As always, thanks for watching. Please share, and remember,
Royals for life. Peace out, guys.